Hi everyone, I'm Tanya Wills. I'm a midwife here in New York City, and I'm here to update you, keep you posted on all about my cancer story, my cancer diagnosis, my cancer treatments, what's the latest with me, and people always call it like their breast cancer journey, and for me, I'm just gonna call it the Cancer Project. I wanted to make this video just to help keep you guys updated about what's happening with me. A lot of you guys already follow me, like maybe on Instagram or other places, about the work that I do in birth and in lactation. And I really thought that when this happened to me, that it was really important that I let people know about what happened. One of the things that's been really helpful for me on my journey is just following other people on YouTube. I mean, I haven't known anybody like me who's really gone through this or paid attention, and those videos were really, really helpful to me. So if you're following this because you're newly diagnosed with breast cancer, I'm just really glad that you're here. Welcome, and I hope that this video is helpful for you because the videos that I saw were so helpful for me. Just a little bit about me. I am 44 years old. I don't drink, not a drop in 7 years. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't eat sugar. I exercise. I live in New York City. I'm a mom of 2 that were born totally 100% naturally at home. I breastfed them cumulatively for about 4 years. I had a lot of things working in my favor to protect me from breast cancer, and I got it anyway. A lot of people have asked me about how this breast cancer was found. I found a lump in my breast. I had had a mammogram in August of 2017, and I actually had looked at my breasts. I mean, you know, when you breastfeed for 4 years cumulatively, which is what I did, you kind of never stop feeling your breasts. Anybody of you guys who are watching who follow me because you know you were moms, you know, you're always touching your breasts and just sort of seeing what they're doing in that. It really never goes away, even though I haven't nursed my babies in years. So I was always checking them out, and like over the years, of course, you know, your breasts involute and they change, and you know, I'm in my 40s now, and I really just thought that my breasts were just changing, and I was just getting older, and the skin was getting a little bit wrinkly, and especially my left breast. I thought that, and that actually is what prompted me to get my first mammogram when I was 43. I had a dear friend who needed to go for hers, and she said, let's just go together. And so I went, and my mammogram came back clear. So I just thought nothing of it. I still thought my breast kind of looked a little bit weird, but I just thought I was getting older. They almost matched, but not quite. And then, you know, the year kind of went on, and I was busy, you know, teaching and catching babies and doing all the things that I do. And I would say sometime in the summer, I remember looking at my breasts and being like, this one just really looks weird. My left breast, it looks weird. It almost looks like it has an indentation in it. But I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to have my next mammogram coming up, and it's fine. And then kind of we came around to, you know, the end of the summer and the beginning of the fall, and I was sort of feeling it. And I said to Josh, I was like, I think I feel a lump in here. And then I would kind of lay down and feel it a little bit more, and then I felt like I didn't feel it. And, you know, anybody who's watching this who knows, you know, breasts are lumpy, you know, and so are mine. So I just thought, okay, no, it kind of feels the same as the other side. And then, you know, the fall started, and I thought, no, I really do think that I feel a lump in here. It's probably a cyst or something. You know, I need to go for my mammogram anyway. I'll make an appointment for a mammogram. So, you know, I wrote my own damn referral, and I made an appointment for a mammogram. And it just so happens that the night before I went to this mammogram, I had a client who started her labor, and it was her second baby. So I was really, really nervous. She was all the way out in Queens, and I was really, really nervous that I might miss it. And I don't like, you know, sleeping at home at night if I know that someone's in labor. So I actually went over to her apartment, and I spent the night in her apartment. And I woke up in the morning, the day of my mammogram, and, you know, her contractions, she kind of slept through most of the night. So she said, you know what? I said, you know, I have this mammogram today. And she was like, yeah, go to your mammogram. And I thought, oh, you know, I could go home and sleep some more. And I thought of all the reasons that I could not go. But then I thought, you know what? I'm so busy. I don't know when else I'm going to squeeze this in. So I might as well go to the mammogram. It's unlike me to put myself first that way. It really is, especially if I have somebody in labor to think, oh, I'm just going to squeeze something for my own self-care in while someone else is in labor. I mean, if there's ever a time in my life where I completely forget about my own self-care, it's when somebody else is in labor. I just drop everything. But I had this thing where I honestly just thought I wouldn't be able to reschedule it. I did not think that I had cancer. So I went, and my appointment was at like 1 o'clock, and I was just fine. I was just texting people. We were supposed to have a meeting. So I had my mammogram, and then I don't know. She said, just sit right here. And I don't know. A minute later, somebody came back and said, okay, well, we'll be right back with you because you're going to need an ultrasound. So finally, the tech calls me back for the ultrasound, maybe at like, I don't know, 4 o'clock. And, she puts the ultrasound on my breast and she goes, how long have you had this lump? And I said, I don't know, maybe a couple of months. I mean, I wasn't sure at first, And she said, just like that. And she's looking at it and taking pictures. And I said, what do you think? And she said, well, I'm going to show this to the doctor. And if she says yes, which I know that she will, she's going to come in and do a biopsy. And she's going to explain to you about the biopsy. And I said, okay. And then she left the room and she came back in and she got a tray ready. And I said, I'm starting to get nervous. And she said, oh, but the biopsy, don't worry, we give you a numbing medication. And I said, no, but the fact that you're doing a biopsy. And she said, oh, the doctor will explain everything. And I said, okay, do you guys do a lot of these? She said, yeah, we do a lot of them. And I said, okay. So she went out to get the doctor, and I opened up my phone, and I had a fax. And on the fax was my own mammogram report. And they faxed it to me because I'm the referring physician. So my own mammogram report said that I had a mass that they measured that was, quote, highly suspicious of malignancy. And they gave it a rating, and the rating that I got was BI-RADS 5, which is the highest suspicion of malignancy. The only thing higher is BI-RADS 6, which is when you already know that there is a malignancy. So, it's already been confirmed. So, basically BI-RADS 5 is like a 90% chance that you have cancer. It was at that moment at 4:45, like right before the end of the day, that I started to get like tunnel vision. Like it started to sink in like, oh, fuck, this is not a cyst. This is cancer. And then I started thinking, this is not going to work. I mean, I started thinking like, I have kids. I have somebody in labor. I have all these people due. I have 20 new doulas coming to my house tonight and 8 mentors. And I have Josh, and I'm 44, and I have things to do. So then I thought about my grandmother, who we lost to breast cancer when I was in high school, and all that she went through in fighting the disease. And it was a real marker for my childhood. She took care of us. She lived with us. We were really, really close with her. And losing somebody like that in your life when you're at a really shitty age, like 13 or 14, is a tough memory. So the radiologist came back in. She got everything set up, and she said, okay, this is not a cyst, and I'm really worried about it, and I'm going to show you why. So she turned the screen so I could see it, and she put the ultrasound on my breast, and then you could see like a little black spot, like almost like a hole. And she said, do you see that? And I said, yes. And she said, and do you see the edges? And I said, yeah, I see that the edges are jagged. And the word that they use, I think, is spiculated, right? It almost looks like a star. And that means that it's probably invasive, right? So that means that the cancer is actually, if you know anything about the anatomy of the breast, which if you know me, you know I really know. And many of you watching may also really know is that our breasts are filled with pipes, with ducts, with plumbing, right? That delivers milk, right? Out of the nipple to our babies, right? So you could see that this mass was trying to kind of travel in that way, throughout the breast. And so she did the biopsy, and, she cleaned the area, and she gave me a shot of lidocaine, which felt like a bee sting. And then I just felt, pressure, and, you know, it was like a little unpleasant, but it was really not a big deal. I mean, it wasn't childbirth, so, you know, it wasn't a big deal. And she gave me ice, and they told me that I could not catch babies that night. And I said, you know, there's somebody in labor. I need to catch a baby tonight. And they said, absolutely not. All we need is for you to come back here tomorrow with a hematoma. No, thank you. And to be quite honest, I don't know how I would be able to take care of somebody taking a baby that night. I absolutely could not think. I was texting some people through all of this because I was going to be late for my meeting, and then I'm going to have a biopsy. And then people started saying, do you want me to come there and be with you? And I was like, no, it's fine. I'm fine. And then I was like, oh, wait, they think it's cancer. And they were like, are you okay? And I was like, I think I'm okay. The radiologist said to me, do you have a breast surgeon? And I said, do I have a breast surgeon? And she said, yeah, you're a midwife. Do you know any breast surgeons? And I was like, I mean, I know some names, but I wouldn't say I know anyone. And she said, well, we have some great ones right downstairs here. I think you should leave here, go straight downstairs and see if we can get an appointment, because you're going to need one. So I did. I went downstairs and I made an appointment. I made friends with the woman at the desk, who was very, very sweet. And she said, oh, you're a midwife? That's so great. I wanted to be a midwife, you know, and we had a long talk. And I said to her, I need to make an appointment with a surgeon. They just sent me down here from upstairs. And they said that I'm going to need a surgeon. And I need it to be a woman. And I need it to be the kindest person that you have here. And she said, okay, I got you. So she did that for me too. I walked out near Columbus Circle, near the Time Warner building, and I walked out to Columbus Circle, and I heard people talking about, like, Trump and what he was going to do next, and, like, Congress and politics and all of this. And I thought, that does not matter. That does not matter, because I don't know what's going to happen next. There's a lot of cancer in my family. We've had plenty of death from cancer in my family. I've seen it. I saw it growing up. I saw it in my 20s. I mean, I've seen it. And I was really scared. So I texted Josh and said, it's malignant. So I'm on my way home. I'll see you there. And then my phone died. So I couldn't even, like, communicate with anybody. I was in the back of a taxi with no phone and essentially a cancer diagnosis. I mean, the radiologist put it into the lab and said she was going to put a rush on it. So she told me I'd get results from her in like 3 or 4 days. I got home. I went upstairs and, I don't know, plugged in my phone. And a few minutes later, Josh got home and he came in with the kids, and I had been crying, and the kids came right in and said, Mommy, you're going to be okay, you know, and they gave me hugs. And, you know, it's totally just like Josh to tell the kids before he even really talks to me that something is up and basically what it is, like to just be totally honest with them about what it is. And it's interesting too, because I don't exactly know the order of this, but the kids came in, they hugged me, and I said to Josh, it's malignant. So he said, okay, let's go find out. So the next day I woke up and remembered what happened the day before. You know, the only time that I remember remembering something in that way and feeling such a sense of dread was on September 12th, 2001. I remember waking up on September 12th, 2001, and kind of waking up and being like, oh, the sun's out, it's time to wake up. Oh, that happened yesterday. Did that really happen? That really happened. And I knew that there was a new reality for me on that day. And this felt that way too. It felt like a new reality for me. But I got up and I went to go see clients. And I had already told, you know, my 3 closest midwife friends. I told my best friend, AJ. I called her and I said, I need to talk to you. It's really serious, you know, and I told her what was going on. And she was 100% there for me and has always been. So I did. I got up and I went to see clients, and right around noon, I got the phone call from the radiologist, and she said she put a rush on it the night before, and they did it first thing in the morning, and they already got the biopsy results back. You remember that I was worried about it, and I said, no, I remember, and I saw the mammogram report, so I know it was BI-RADS 5, and she said, well, we were right. It's malignant, as we were expecting. So, and she told me that I had invasive ductal carcinoma, which is the cancer that I have. And she said that it was moderately differentiated. She's not the worst, not the best. She said it's relatively slow growing. And I said, okay. And she said that it measured 1.7 centimeters and that's what she said. And I said, do you think that it's in any other part of my body? And she said, highly, 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 highly unlikely. But the voices in my head are way more powerful than that voice. So in another video, I'll talk to you about a cancer diagnosis and how cancer is actually a terrorist. That you can spot a terrorist. It's called cancer. So I had my diagnosis, so I knew what it was, and I told her that I had gotten an appointment with the surgeon for maybe a week and a half later, and she said, yeah, go ahead and call their office and tell them that I said that you should call back and see if they could move it up. So they did, they moved it up. So this diagnosis was on a Wednesday, and I saw the surgeon on Monday. When I went in on Monday to see the surgeon, I researched my surgeon before I went to go see her, and she definitely was like some kind of fantastic feminist. Like she was the head of breast cancer surgery in many institutions, very hotshot institutions, and she was on a widely known talk show for the fact that she believed that she was looked over for the job several times and that it was given to like less qualified people, so she brought up charges. I was really impressed. I mean, somebody like me would love somebody like that to be taking care of them. Another thing that I did in the weekend in between was I found some breast cancer support groups on Facebook, which are a godsend. Oh my God. I can't even begin to say what a blessing these places have been. You can only get in if you have breast cancer, though. That's the trick. It's a great place, but I don't really like wish this upon you to get it. So I'm going to stop for now. And in my next video, I'll talk with you about my first surgeon's visit, what happened there, what she told me, what I learned about my cancer at that time, and where we go from there. Anyway, thanks for joining. If you want to keep track of my breast cancer project and what I'm up to and how I'm doing, you're a woman interested in hearing what other women are doing, you are somebody who's interested in a midwife who got cancer, or you're just somebody who knows me or not or whatever, or maybe you're newly diagnosed with cancer. If you are, I hope that this helps you. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be here. Yeah, I'm going to be here. It really helps me a lot. So have a good night, everybody.